Let's have a listen to Dr. Keneally as she explains some of the treatment protocols that they use in her clinic in Irvine.
One of the key things in health is optimization of the immune system. And I think it was 1999, a doctor or several doctors, there's actually conflicting information about really who discovered it, but that's not my deal. But anyway, there's something called GC-MAF, macrophage activating factor. What are macrophages? Macrophages are the Pac-Man of your immune system. And so we have to have a good immune system, whether you have cancer, heart disease, diabetes, dementia. We need a good immune system to take care of ourselves. And so when we make bad cells, cancer cells or viruses, they make an enzyme called nagalase. Nagalase poisons the macrophages, inhibiting them attacking the bad cells. Now, what you can actually do is you can actually measure nagalase. It's not done in the United States. It's done in a laboratory in the Netherlands. So we send our patients' blood to the Netherlands to see what their nagalase is. Now, most people we know who have cancer or viruses, we know they probably have high nagalase. Now, by the way, though, GC-MAF is used everything from autism to Alzheimer's to heart disease to cancer to chronic viral and bugs and infections. So we started utilizing it about 2 years ago. You can actually make GC-MAF in a probiotic, and you can actually make it in a yogurt yourself. You have to buy the starter material and make the yogurt yourself that produces GC-MAF. You can't just buy yogurt, organic yogurt on the shelves at your local store. You've got to get the starter material, and you can make your own GC-MAF in a yogurt, or what we use is a probiotic suppository called Bravo Probiotic. Now, I know it works because every single patient that I've used it on, their nagalase levels have decreased.
Nagalase level tells me where your immune system is at. In a healthy patient, your nagalase level should be less than 1. But if you have virus or cancer in your body, the nagalase level tend to be higher. So I actually started on my regular healthy patients who don't have the diagnosis of cancer but has viruses in their body, measure their nagalase level. If it's high or higher than 1, I tell them your immune system is being suppressed, and then you're going to develop cancer.
Unfortunately, as we've already seen many times in the global quest, the authorities will shut you down if you're using a treatment for cancer that works that's not approved. This recently happened with GC-MAF at the manufacturing facility in Europe.
Yeah, the GC-MAF clinic is over in Europe, and their version of the FDA came into their lab and took all their product, all their medicine, and took all their lab equipment and seized all their bank accounts and virtually shut them down. They were helping thousands of patients reboot their immune system. They were helping kids with autism. They were an answer to cancer, and they shut them down.
So Val, if you could talk a little bit about the details of this raid.
Yeah, the FDA version of the European FDA version came in to the GC-MAF lab. 2 female workers, lab technicians were in there. They came in with machine guns, bulletproof vests, and held them up at gunpoint, took all the medicine out of the lab, seized all the bank accounts. It's really a Gestapo technique to shut down any kind of alternative medicine that is not run by the big pharma.
Wow, it sounds like the mafia.
Yes, it is the mafia.
These type of raids are happening all over the United States, but as we just heard, this is happening in Europe as well. This type of behavior is despicable no matter where it happens because it's stopping people from getting access to treatments that could save their life.
GC-MAF activation. GC-MAF stands for GC protein, macrophage activating factor. However, more than just activating macrophages, GC-MAF is now known to have 20 positive actions in the body. GC-MAF has no side effects and is a naturally occurring protein in humans. It's an essential component to a properly functioning immune system. GC protein is a vitamin D binding protein, which is found in human plasma. It has 3 sugar molecules attached to it. B and T cells in the body remove 1 sugar molecule each, leaving GC-MAF, which has only 1 sugar molecule remaining. It's at this point where the positive effects commence. Diseases, cancer, viruses, infections, inflammation, or even stress or trauma may succeed in releasing sufficient nagalase enzyme to incapacitate GC protein, which in turn prevents the body from making its own GC-MAF. When GC-MAF is reintroduced into the body as a treatment, or what one would call a replacement therapy, nagalase does not recognize GC-MAF and will not and cannot destroy it. The life of GC-MAF is 1 week. 7 days after it's reintroduced into the body, all 20 beneficial effects of the GC-MAF fail, and it can no longer fight cancer, disease, viruses, or inflammation. So, in order to keep the battle going, GC-MAF needs to be re-administered at least twice per week. In summary, by reintroducing GC-MAF, its 20 positive actions in the body restart, and then the immune system is rebuilt. The new GC-MAF can then again fight cancers, viruses, and infections, which was its original job in the first place. The following are some of the 20 positive effects GC-MAF can have in the body, of which 11 are published in scientific research papers. Different positive actions will affect different diseases. It rebuilds the immune system, which doesn't work without it. It activates macrophages, which then destroy cancer cells. It helps stop blood supply to tumors. It causes cancer cells to commit suicide. It turns cancer cells into healthy cells. It helps stop secondary tumor growth. It increases mitochondrial energy. It counters toxic effects. It improves neuronal activity and neuronal connectivity. It helps stop neuropathic pain. New and safe replacement GC-MAF as a vitamin D binding protein works best when taken with high daily doses of vitamin D3, coupled with vitamin K2, and a particularly healthy diet and lifestyle. It's administered externally and is required until the virus or disease and its nagalase are gone. Then your own GC-MAF starts up again and gets back to work.
Welcome to the Eating Light tutorials, and when we say eating light, we mean eating as close to the light by eating whole, unadulterated, raw, if possible, foods, organic, free range, etc. So today we're going to learn how to make the GC-MAF Super Yogurt at home for a fraction of the price that you would pay on any of the online companies out there. And this is a yogurt that helps to activate our body's macrophage system, which is basically the garbage men of the body. And it's a very important part of the immune system. Many people's immune systems have been deactivated due to vaccinations, viruses, and other things that block the GC protein from combining with D3 to create the macrophage signaling system. So today we're going to make this. It's also great probiotics. If you like yogurt, you're going to love this. And so what do we use to make GC-MAF, or GC-MAF as they call it? First of all, we need milk, and I use raw milk. You can use whole organic milk from the store, but if you do, you're going to need to heat it first. What we're going to do is make this raw. We're going to make this as close to natural as possible. If you don't have the ability to get raw milk, what you need to do is get organic grass-fed whole milk and heat it up to about 180 degrees, and then let it cool down to 110 degrees before you throw the other ingredients in that I'm going to show you right now. But for today, we're going to make it out of raw milk, and it comes out beautiful. If you have access to clean, fresh, good raw milk, there's no need to heat your milk. There's no need to adulterate it or denature it in any way. So the first thing we're going to do, though, is we do have to warm a little raw milk in the saucepan so we can cream the other ingredients. So I'm just going to put that in there and start that process while we talk a little bit. The other ingredients you need are the Garden of Life 400 billion IU raw probiotics, and also colostrum. This is New Zealand colostrum from Douglas Laboratories. It's extremely good and clean. Again, if you can get raw colostrum, if you're lucky enough, you can use that instead. But so what we're doing is we're supercharging our milk with the colostrum and the probiotics, amping it up before we put in our yeast. And this creates this super yogurt that has this GC-MAF potential in it. So what we're going to do is, this is a half a gallon. For each quart of milk, you want to add 2 teaspoons of your probiotic mix, which has over 32 varieties of probiotics, so it's a very broad spectrum. There's 1. And it's 1 tablespoon of colostrum for every quart. So we're going to add 2 tablespoons of colostrum. And we're just going to warm it, and we're going to whisk it in to get the lumps out of it, make it nice and creamy when we put it into the milk. It's very important that you keep an airspace, so you need to pour a little milk out if it's absolutely full, because anything that ferments gives off CO2 gas, and you need a little room for that gas. And we're just going to whisk this into a nice puree, nice and creamy, without making it too hot. We don't want to, again, we don't want to harm with too much heat any of these constituents. And we will simply pour the colostrum and the probiotics into the milk. In fact, I'm going to stir this in a little bit and pour a little more milk in to get the last bit out of this. And you can see, even by adding this, there's still an air space left here for the fermentation process. And then the final thing we need is yogurt culture. And you can get all of these ingredients at places like Vitacost.com, probably Amazon.com. These 3 items cost about $90 and will make about what a $500 batch online you would be charged for. So as you can see, this is very cost effective. This will make, 3 to 4 months worth of yogurt. And then finally, last thing is I just cut the package of the yeast, sprinkle the yeast around the top. Don't shake it at this point. Let the yeast just sit on top. Put the lid back on. Put it on your cupboard overnight, and by tomorrow morning this will be beautiful, creamy, super yogurt with the GC-MAF potential in it. And be careful that you don't let this overcook. It's very supercharged. This will finish in about 8 hours. So I try to do this before I go to bed, and then the first thing up in the morning it goes into the refrigerator, and by putting it in the refrigerator you stop the fermenting process and you keep it creamy. If you let it go too long, it will turn into a big chunk of cheese here, which is also good, but we want to get some creamy yogurt out of it. So once you have your GC-MAF yogurt made, it's time to make the mixture that is needed to activate the macrophage. And so you put about half a cup to a cup of yogurt. What I do is I put it in my blender. You have to take a couple thousand, the studies have shown that you take 2,000 IUs morning and night when you drink your yogurt morning and night, or 5,000 if you have a serious condition, morning and night. What I have is vitamin D with K2, and K2 is very important when you're taking high dosages of vitamin D to prevent calcification. So I'm going to put my 1 drop, 2 drops, that's 2,000 IUs of D and plenty of K, and then I'm going to add, you can add honey, maple syrup to taste if you'd like. You could put some fruit in if you'd like, or you can just eat it all plain. And I have my drink here with my D and my K2 in it. And even my dog loves the GCMAF. Pumpkin!